Welcome to Bold Beginnings, where we teach and show you how God works in our careers and our lives, what his purpose is for us, and why we should trust him in everything that we do. My name is Rita Wilson.
And I'm Sandra Fernandez.
And we are here with
the one and only
Zack Wilson.
Welcome.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, welcome back.
I keep getting pulled into this.
I know, man. What is this? Your fifth episode?
Yeah, it's all right. I got more.
It is.
I got more jokes for it, so we're good. We're all right.
How are you?
Jokes. I'm good. How are you both?
We're doing good.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
That's good.
We're excited to have you.
Good to be back.
Yes.
What's
What's
walking
been going on with
outside
you?
and we're like, hey, Zack.
Come on in.
Come on in.
Yeah, I went far away. I'm back now.
Come back now. What's been going on with you? What you been up to, Mr. Wilson?
Update us on your life from the previous episode.
I've been working on my car a lot. I've been on a project car this is the 4th year working on it. And so I'm in the reassembly portion of it, and it's starting to come back together. So I'm all like giddy and excited about it. It's like all the vision's coming through, So been doing a lot, of that. And just got Rita a new vehicle.
I saw that.
I had to sell my 85 El Camino,
Oh,
and I
gosh.
got my wife a Jeep so that she can drive 4-wheel drive through the snow. Because
Thank you. That was very sweet of you.
for better travels.
Yes,
She sent me a video.
I
The
did.
day you got it for her.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She all
She was
excited.
so excited. Yeah. I was like, oh, that's,
That's
so
great.
sweet.
It was super sweet because I was stressed out on my car. And he's like, I got you. So
Yeah.
thanks. What else have you been up to?
Just hanging with the boys. We got a new dog.
We
You did? No way. You didn't
Yeah.
tell me this.
I
No,
didn't
you did not tell me
She
this.
looks
What
so
kind of
much
dog?
like Doobie, but Doobie was a Staffordshire, so she was a little bit taller and like a skinnier snout. But this one, we kept calling Doobie, but she's short, so now we just call her Shorty.
Shorty.
Oh, cute.
'Cause
That
she's-
became her name.
She's
Wait,
American
so-
Pit Bull, and so
Love.
she's a little bit shorter
Yeah.
and big old fat head.
I love
But same
pit
color,
bulls.
same yellow, white chest, same white
Yeah.
toes.
Yeah, we got a new dog. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
When?
I don't remember.
And she's a house hippo.
So you've had a dog?
Just a house at like 3
Just
weeks.
3
3 weeks? Dude, I saw you 3 weeks ago.
I don't remember.
She's definitely a house hippo though. She's
it?
54 pounds. And Doobie used to like roll up next to you and like put her head on your chest. This one's like, the only thing not laying on top of you is her back legs. She's like, she just want to stay on you.
I love it.
She's a sweet dog.
Oh my gosh,
I
look
love
at
it.
us,
Yes.
dog moms. We gotta go for a
We
dog
gotta go for a
park.
dog park day. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yes, it's been great. We've definitely having a great time. So today's episode is just to kind of get to know you a little better.
Since you've been on here so many times.
You know,
little bit, huh?
so we just need to know who Zack is. Tell us a little bit of your testimony. And then me and Sandra, we're just going to ask questions.
Well, I just had to write a couple of things down because, I already explained it in another episode. I get jumbled around, little ADHD tendencies like, tin, 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 tin. And there's the picture. Okay, so I just have some points to just stay on track here.
You're good. You're good.
So from the beginning,
From the beginning.
I'm from Hollywood.
1991,
I'm from Hollywood,
December
not
1st.
California.
Not California, Hollywood.
Florida, Florida. Anyways,
Is that a real place?
Florida.
yeah, Hollywood, Florida.
Yeah.
It's
no
a
idea.
little bit south of Fort Lauderdale. You would fly into Fort Lauderdale International, and then Hollywood's like another 15 minutes from there, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I thought you were from Miami.
Close. People don't know about Hollywood, so then it's like,
So you say Miami.
yeah, or
Okay.
if you know Fort Lauderdale, yeah.
His
yes.
nickname is Miami, just so you know.
Yeah.
That
Can we
was
just talk about your tattoo real quick?
Which one?
The Mickey Mouse.
a.
Tell us that story real quick. Is that appropriate for this podcast? Let's just be transparent here. We don't have a past life.
So I got a back piece. Okay, it's like I love art. From the very beginning, I love art. I used to draw cars. I used to draw like characters. I used to draw faces. I had a white tall tee that I took a Sharpie and I did like all sorts of like it came out really really sick. Doodles all on it. I made one for my brother. And then as I got older, transitioned, and I've always wanted tattoos, and I was never allowed to have tattoos growing up. So now I got a lot of tattoos because I just like art. So this particular back piece, it has like a whole bunch of stuff going on, basically about Florida and basically, the Gunshine State, yada yada. But it has Mickey Mouse, and Mickey Mouse got a bandana and baggy pants and like gangsta Mickey Mouse, And my son, he asked me, Dad, what happened to Mickey Mouse? I said he grew up in Florida, because you go to a lot of people, tourists, they go to Walt Disney World or in Orlando, Florida, and then they get robbed because they don't know like the difference. But it's just funny because it was interesting in that.
I just thought it was funny that he even asked.
Yes.
Like, he looks at Mickey Mouse and he's like, that Mickey Mouse looks different. Like, why does he look different? He's like, because he grew up.
Because he grew up in Florida.
He grew up in Florida, and Roman was like, huh? Like Roman, he grew up in the hood.
Yeah.
He's got bandana on.
That was hilarious.
Yeah, I thought
it
that
was
was so
super
funny.
funny. So, okay.
Kids
That's
just
not
ask the
my
funniest
favorite
questions.
tattoo,
They
but
do.
it's one of my favorites.
Tattoo.
Anyways,
Love it.
but that's
a
where I
good
was
one.
raised.
Love it.
That's where I was raised, and I like it because it is the Sunshine State. I used to go everywhere on a beach cruiser, and just shorts, and I'd just be like cruising everywhere, like no shirt, just soaking up the sun, yada yada, and
I love that you try to do that here, though.
yeah, I still do that.
Yeah.
I'll bring my shirt, and then
Yeah.
it's like as I'm walking into the store, then I'll hurry and throw it on real quick as I'm going in the store.
Yeah.
But
I've said it on like multiple podcasts, but when we're driving by, Zeke's like, "There's Zack." He's trying to do
On his motorcycle
on
with
the
his shirt off.
motorcycle. Yeah.
Yep.
No
My
shirt.
gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Love it.
I'd be riding like a squid. I ain't
I'm like,
gonna
Zeke,
lie.
that's dangerous. Okay.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I'm what they call a squid on a bike. But yeah, I have 3 brothers, a great mom, great dad. And it's funny, interesting, like, because when you're growing up, I actually called my brother to talk about a little theology the other day, and because he's a professor at a Christian university, and he teaches these kids, and he just talked at a church in Lakeland. But I called him and I talked to him, and it was like crazy because I'm talking to him, I'm like, dang, I'm like, you grew up, dude, like. And I really look up to him now, and where it's like, oh, the little brother or whatever, So, my oldest brother, he's a mechanical engineer, and he does a lot of stuff I can't talk about because it's for like fighter jets or whatever, for Air Force stuff. So he's like working on high secrecy stuff that I don't even know about, but that's what he's doing, and he's really smart. That's my older brother Jacob, my littlest brother, so I was second born. My next brother, third born, Jed, he's the one that teaches. I really look up to him. He's a smart individual. And then probably the brother I got most along with because he's crazy like me and likes to do like that wild out adventurous stuff is Caleb. He would come out and visit, and we'd go 4-wheeling and check out some mines and go in these mines, and we'd go camping and just kind of like get into stuff because he likes the high adrenaline stuff that I do.
Yeah.
But
That's awesome.
so that's what I was raised in, and growing up I always liked motors. I always liked getting into things. I would dumpster dive. They had bulk pickup where people would throw away their trash, and I'd be like, if I could fix that, here I am like dragging it home, like pulling my beach cruiser. I have this whole thing loaded
still
up
does
with
it.
stuff, and I
That
get
is
it
so
home
funny.
and just make all these different to make one that actually works. So we'd be cruising around the neighborhood with like this beat up go-kart or this wonky wheels going like this. We'd all be taking turns hopping on it. We got like 4 people on it, ripping around. So we
That's
did a
so
lot
fun.
of that,
Creative.
I had a lot of lifelong friends. Dirty, we used to go. We used to like hustle for some change, and then we'd go to the corner store and we'd get, because it was like 75 cents for a Jamaican beef patty and $1 for a slushie. So we'd just ride our bikes over there and just go get our Jamaican beef patties or slushie. We'd be like Jay and Silent Bob outside of the corner store eating our slushies and Jamaican beef patties. So Yeah, we just had a lot of fun. Him, Kinte, Matt, we used to just get in a lot of, and it was a big neighborhood that had a lot of people, a lot of kids, and we'd play. There was a field, so across the street, so we'd just play a lot of football and everything. But
That's awesome.
yeah, and I liked being outside. I don't like, I didn't like being too like. I didn't like. I just liked being outside and adventurous, and so I'd ride my bike everywhere, get into certain things. Uh, it was funny. I started working for a guy because I liked audio equipment. And the very first paycheck, I ran off and I got my first 3 tattoos. And my dad was so mad at me. He was like, oh man, he was so mad. And I never got to work for that guy again because I think he felt bad because he was the one that gave me the money to go get it. And I hopped on a bus and went straight to Lauderhill. Not Lauderdale, Lauderhill. And I got it. And, it started into some things. And some stuff, over time happened, and started hanging out with like wrong folk, and you start to become a product of your environment. And I liked hanging outside more than I liked hanging out with like youth group kids, and I liked hanging outside more than like doing like the good things. Like I liked the mischief. I liked the get on the bike and quick run, pedaling down the street as fast as you can, whatever, right?
The adrenaline.
Yeah, so I ended up getting sent to Teen Challenge, West Florida Teen Challenge, which is in Bonifay. And initially it was kind of, and I have like, I've had to since work through it because I was told that we were going to, it was my dad's birthday, and so we were going to go to Six Flags, all of us together. And I was like, all right, tight. So we go and we end up in like these boonies, and next thing you know, we're like pulling down this long dirt driveway, and you see these dudes all in like military uniform going in because it was like a military type school of Teen Challenge. It's not like.
So what is Teen Challenge? I'm sorry.
Well, Teen
For
Challenge
those who
is
don't
like
know.
for troubled kids.
Okay.
Is it like one of
this
those?
This was like a boys' ranch,
Okay, yeah.
but they took people from all over. You could be court ordered there, or you could send your kid there from all over. It's the only one in the country that I know of. And at the time, that was military like based, like so it was like a lot of military things. And when we pulled up, I was like, oh crap, because I had a little teeny baggie of weed on me.
That he was taking to Six Flags?
Yeah. Well, no, I was
He
like,
thought he was gonna smoke it somewhere else.
I was more about getting, the little bit of money from it. I'm like, I could sell this 10 sack to somebody. I'll just keep it. And then,
You're like, oh crap.
and I stashed it in the back of like the van. And then I was like, what if my dad gets pulled over and then he'll get in trouble for it? I'm like, let's just see how this plays out. So I put it in my pocket, and it didn't play out too well because you go through induction, and as soon as like they're like, come on, pal, and they walk you down the way. As soon as the door opens, they like yank you in and throw you on the wall, and then frisk you down, and he found it, and it's Sergeant Davis. It was so funny. He found it, and he's all like praying over it. He's like, praying over it and going to the bathroom, and he goes and flushes it, and then at the time I had long hair. I would get my hair plaited and braided and all that, shaved it all off, and
you were bald.
Yeah, and you did 3 days of just constant exercise, and chugging water to basically make you detox if you were like doing drugs or anything, and to basically condition you for the rest of the time that you was going to be there.
Oh wow.
And it was 2 Christmases, 2 like Thanksgivings, 2 birthdays.
2 years?
It was just under 2 years because I think I went in October. No, it was November I went in. And so it was like, I think it was supposed to be a 16th month, and I got added a month. But
Because he got in trouble. He did something he wasn't supposed to do.
But it was really interesting too, because like it was faith-based. Well, if you don't know about Teen Challenge, it's faith-based. So, and it was military, so they teach you discipline. You're up at, it was like 4 or 5 in the morning, and you get up and you do PT for about an hour, and it would depend on the day. You'd all go running, or you'd be lifting weights, and you got to stay in cadence with everybody. If you got out of cadence, you got put in the book. And the book is basically you had a sanction, and the sanction is 50 push-ups, 50 jumping jacks, and 50 mountain climbers. And it depended how many you got, and you had to knock them out before, like, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and sometimes in between. And if you got so many, then you got sent to corrections for the weekend, where you would just work out even more through the weekend.
Oh, wow.
So there was a lot of, like...
Did that hinder your relationship with working out? Do you like to work out?
Yeah, but not as much anymore.
Like if somebody made me do that for, like, punishment, I don't think I'd...
Like it?
Yeah.
I did like it, because when I stepped out of there, I was like, I had a pretty good platform or foundation.
Okay.
So like, I don't need to work out. I'm really fit. Like, I could run for 3 miles without stopping and yelling the cadences that they make you go back and forth with. So,
okay.
and staying in step, and we'd march in step and all that. It was funny.
So you said it was faith-based? I'm sorry.
Yeah, faith-based.
It was faith-based.
So it was like Sunday morning, we'd get taught. Sunday night, we'd get taught. Wednesday, we'd get taught. Friday nights was devotional.
Is that why you're so good with the Bible?
There was a lot of Bible, yeah. Yeah, and this is my same Bible that I had in there. So there's like a lot of
cool.
highlights, a lot of like writing in there, a lot of like...
Is that why you have a dollar bill in there?
Yeah, that's because it's... You know what? There's a couple, but for different reasons.
Okay.
Just for there's like a Guatemalan dollar in there because we went on a mission trip to Guatemala. There's one in there for just smoking cigarettes. When I was trying to quit smoking, so it's been 8 or 9 years since I smoked cigarettes. So
Okay. Sorry for getting
just
off
different
topic.
things. No, it's okay. But we did a lot in there, like, you know, boot shining. You had to, you know, be able to see, count your teeth in your boot, you know. Did a lot of that. And they had a lot of people that would like pour into you. You had different sergeants, a bunch of different sergeants. It was Sergeant Harris, one of my favorites, Sergeant Munden, Laycox, Lopez, Duck, Pastor Clay, Pastor Dave, Sergeant Hudson, Sergeant Rice, Sergeant Davis. And you just have different ones, like, and they're not like Sergeant Hudson. I mean, he played running back for the New Orleans Saints. Sergeant Davis, he was the dude in Walker, Texas Ranger, who's like squatted out in the graveyard, and he's like fighting with Walker, Texas Ranger. He's like an Olympic karate champ or something like that. But Pastor Dave, like, I really have like he really spoke a lot into us kids, and he would be like all fired up when he was talking. It might be why I enjoy listening to Pastor Crowder so much, because he reminds me a lot like him in like getting a little bit wild up, and like when he preaches and getting a little bit, you know, out there.
Passionate.
Yeah, because man, he would just be everywhere and just be like preaching to us, you know. And so I did that, and after I got out, it was like a hard time adjusting, because you get out and then it's like I graduated high school in there, but then I got out and I was like, I applied for like so many different places, just being like, you know, like just the generic what you didn't need a skill for type job. And I couldn't do it. I couldn't get a job. Nobody called me back. I would go in and revisit. They wouldn't call me back. So I took matters into my own hands, and I dumpster dove for a lawnmower and a weed whacker, and I got them rolling. And then I started a little business around the neighborhood on my beach cruise. I'd just put it all on the back, and I'd go beach cruise, pulling my lawnmower and everything over to the houses, and I'd mow yards.
Look at you.
And I started, it was auto.
Entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Love
Started, I'm not waiting for no handout. I'm like, I'm making some money. So
That's awesome.
then I started into auto mechanics there. And I don't know. It was interesting because I was having to end up paying for stuff myself through there. We didn't get like no scholarship or nothing like that.
The auto mechanic program?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was like, I don't know, it was really tough. Like I felt like a tough guy, you know, like that three-legged dog who walks into the bar. It's up to the bar. Are you the one who shot my paw?
I don't get it. I'm sorry.
All right.
Okay.
Anyways, anyways,
I'm like these jokes. Wait
so
a minute.
so
I mean, I just think it's funny that I don't get it.
somebody's gonna get that one. My dad'll laugh. So
He's like, my dad got
but
me.
then, you know, after getting out, there was like a big stigma, you know, of falling, or like, you know, of like backsliding, I would say more like backsliding into what you were into. And there was like a lot that did, but then there was also like a lot that was able to move forward and are, producing members of society. There's others, that are still maybe struggling or in their addiction. I pray for them often. But I mean, I lost 11 close folk of mine to overdose, 3 to the lifestyle. 1 got shot in the face, 1 got chopped up, 1's in the pen for life for murder. One of my other buddies out here got shot through the neck. That was a triple homicide, or would have been if he died. So this there's a lot of people that I know and I reach out to, that really struggle with things. So it's big on my heart to help troubled individuals or that type of, it's outreach ministry is where my calling is.
What are some of the important things you feel like you learned in Teen Challenge? What was some of the core things that you brought with you when you left the program?
Discipline. Work hard. Work hard. If you're going to do it, just do it all the way.
Right.
Don't half it. Just do it all the way. And prayer, just pray and just do your best. And then, God will do the rest, right? But,
right.
Really just discipline and staying focused. That's and being plugged in, knowing it's your choice if you want to walk away, but if you're falling forward, you're gonna fall, but you better fall forward. Don't be falling back and going back to what you came from. Just fall forward, get up, and fall forward again, and get up and fall forward again. So that was.
I have another question.
Go for it.
Do you feel like, because it was a Christ-centered program, do you feel like your spirituality grew with God in that program at all? Did you get closer to God?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, you get jam-packed with scripture reading, jam-packed with devotionals, with sermons. All your itinerary is faith-based. Yeah, absolutely.
But at what point, because there's a difference between being fed the Bible,
right,
and you wanting to eat, not eat the Bible, but
yeah,
but you searching your own journey and having your own relationship with Christ. At what point did that happen for you?
So that's a tough one, because the issue that I've had is I like the freedom.
Yeah, I understand that.
I like
part,
to be able to go off and do my thing. And so I gave my life to Christ. I was always raised up in the church, always went to youth group, a couple different youth groups. But I worked through all that and worked through maybe the skeletons in my closet while I was there. So when I came out, it was clean slate. I felt like a free man, felt good about myself.
Like a new.
I'm going to go get a good, just not a good job, but a job to be able, because I want to go into auto mechanics. And that just didn't end up panning out. And then I slowly started to get into kind of bad things. And I was it's maybe we should have a little bit of a scenery change. So my Uncle Tom out here, he had a friend that was in a restoration shop, car restoration shop. And it was right after I got jumped, and it was all crazy, right? So, and he's well, you could come out here, we'll just put you up and you could learn. And he'll do it for free. You could just come out here for, a month or 2 or whatever. And I was all right, bet. So I was I'll just get a ticket. And he's oh, well, all right. It was 3 days later, I was ready to come out. And I came out with what I had. It was a little duffel bag with two pairs of clothes and the shoes on my feet, and came out here, and it ended up going belly up 2 weeks after I'd been out here. So it's the other thing that I wanted to do was welding. So I found out that DATC, you could just go in and start right then at Southeastern University in Florida. It was a 2.5-year wait.
Oh wow.
So I was I'm gonna go through this program, just run through it real quick, and then go back home. And I ended up liking it out here, ended up getting a job out here, and I ended up liking the outdoors and having the freedom going around everywhere and four-wheeling and all that jazz, so I stayed out here. And I actually bought the house that my dad grew up in out here. My grandma got too old, and she, I was let's just get it appraised. I want to buy it.
Yeah.
And then so they got it appraised, paid what it was worth. But I was living with my uncle for that time, but I still was like, I want my freedom. So I would like, I still want to smoke cigarettes. I still want to kind of do my own thing, maybe drink a little bit, even though I was underage. And then that slowly trickled, and I had respect for it, like just not do it at the house. And I had respect for it, but then that line got a little bit more blurred.
Yeah.
And then like, you got to find some different living arrangements. So they thought I was going to go back to Florida. I didn't. I went over, my buddy Zack Blackwell, and the Blackwells took me in. And I lived in their basement for about a year before that house became available. And I was able to buy it. But it was interesting because, I worked hard out here. Like, I didn't really party out here. I was like, I know what I want. I'm going to work hard. I'm going to get it. And
that discipline.
Exactly. I worked really hard. Like, I worked my party years away. And then I bought the house, and then it was like,
Party.
now we can party. Like, I achieved everything.
It's so funny because, like, when I hear your story, Zach, it's a lot of that up and down and twirl around and go back and then come back. You know what I mean? And I think that is so amazing, though, because it's never going to be a perfect line.
Yeah, it's not.
And it's never going to be a perfect ride.
Right.
You know, and I think your story
it's inspiring.
it just pans that all out, you know, and even from last year to this year, like seeing your growth and how you are, and even like how you are so intentional about your walk with Christ has just been amazing. And I tell Rita that, like, it's just so inspiring. Yeah. And
Thanks.
you can see the difference and the change, and I think that's really cool.
Yeah, thanks.
He fools you.
You
like,
can see the fruit.
He fools you. He's awesome.
I
He's
like to just chill.
Yeah.
I'll let you
He
think
looks like
what
the basic guy, but
I'll
he's
let
not.
you think what you want to think. It's not for me to change your opinion of me. I ain't worried about it. But and it was crazy because I was out here like 2 years, and my mom's calling me like, "What'd you get into?" I'm like, "I ain't got into nothing for a while."
I'm good.
No, well, I gave this person your number. They've been knocking on the door looking for you. I don't know why they're looking for you. So these detectives are calling me like, hey, we'll give you a free flight out here, like back to Florida. We can give you, and you can see your family and enjoy the beach. All paid. We'll put you up in a hotel, and you just come to court on this day. And I'm like, wait, what? Nah, like, you're asking me right now. I don't see nothing in front of me. Like, tell the sheriff to come pick me up if I gotta go back. Like, you're not tricking me into that. So it was kind of wild out there in Florida. And I had really great parents, but it was just me warring with my flesh, like wanting the freedom, wanting the free agency to do what I wanted to do.
Right.
And I was like confident when I got out. Like, I was strong, I was fast, I could do a lot of things, and like I was intelligent. So there's a lot of things I got into that I shouldn't have gotten into, but yeah. And then the roommate stage started. I had roommates in my house, and I was still a good guy. Like, I did like drives for like for the homeless. Like, we would do winter clothes drives.
Yeah.
Like, if it was somebody's birthday, I'd pay for the lunch at work. A coworker behind me, I'd pay for their lunch. You know what I mean? I'd help people with their cars. If they had a house project, I'd be over there helping with their house, whatever. Like, I put a lot of stuff together. And it was interesting because even though, like, maybe you're not of the church, like, there's still so many people willing to help or want to help somebody.
Amen.
And if you put all that together, they're like, yeah, here we go. I mean, we went down to the Salt Lake shelter, and it was like 2 big old bags. They barely fit in my truck. And so, oh, man. Okay, no, we're good. So it barely fit in my truck. And so there's some good things that happened during that time. But it was the roommate stage at the house. I had 3 roommates and like a 4th floater. Like, he was like here and there, and it was good. Like, it was a nice. It wasn't like a problem house. It was like everybody get along, everybody do their thing. It was. I used to liken it to Bob Marley's house. You had the rebels and these other people. And the government's warring each other. But when you showed up to Bob Marley's house, like, all that left at the door, we're all humans again. There's no drama. There's no fighting. There's nothing. Like, everybody love each other type thing.
Yeah.
No issues.
Yeah, and it really wasn't.
But I heard that, like, there was a roommate that didn't pay his bills.
Yeah.
It was all of them.
No, not all of them.
He didn't make a car
not
payment.
all of them. There was.
Oh,
That's
stop
right where
it.
that's right where I'm going. And then And exactly,
This girl.
there was one roommate that didn't make a car payment, and that's right where I was going. That's funny you mentioned that. And the person at the time came to repo his car, and I was off that day, and I was just working in my shop, doing my Miami style. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No shirt. You know, I just had some shades on. I was probably a little sweaty.
He
You
was
know,
high.
little mechanic.
He was high.
I probably was too. But then up walks Repo Rita,
Oh gosh.
and she came to repo my buddy's car, and I'm like, yo, I told my roommate, I'm like, stay right here for a minute. I stay right here I'm gonna go handle this right
Like,
quick.
I'm gonna go spit some game.
Yeah, I'm gonna go handle this right quick.
I cannot.
So I went down, and she just wanted to talk to Bear Claw. She's
Bear
like,
Claw.
she's
Wow.
like, I need to talk to him. I need to take his car. I'm like, you can't take his car. I was like, but if you give me your number, I'll make sure he gets a hold of you.
I was
And
like, no.
maybe we could hang out or
I don't
something.
like white boys.
Yep. She's like, nope. Nope. Well, I just laid it on even more, right? Just laid it on heavy.
His version of the story.
I did.
It's all another layer.
Because then she finally gave it to me, right? And she's like, okay. And I'm like, I ain't got my phone. And she's like, well,
I was
I
like,
guess
he
you can't
doesn't have his
it.
phone, and he looks high, and he's not gonna remember it. So I'm gonna shoot it out to him and see if he remembers.
And I even changed a digit to see if she was lying to me. And she repeated it. And I was like, oh, it's the legit number. Okay. And then I was like, okay, bye. Like, I didn't even want to say anything else because I didn't want to forget it. I was like, okay, bye. And I walk up in, and my boy Jose's like, yo, how'd it go? And I'm like, 801, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, 801, da-da-da-da. I'm like, go write it down. I'm like, yes, I got it. Yeah. So then we started hanging out. And I think we prevented his car from getting repoed for like another 2 months.
Still got repoed. I had a job to do.
But that's how it happened. And,
Wait. How did the car get repoed?
well,
He hit it. He hit the vehicle. I think it was like, I overheard them saying it was at like his grandma's house or something. And then I went into the store and processed the repo.
yeah, it was pretty bad.
And they thought I wasn't going to repo it. Because, they all buddies. No, he's like, that's the homie. I was like, he needs to pay his bill.
It waited a while. I mean, it waited a while.
The process takes a while. That's why.
Yeah, maybe.
She's like, still.
Maybe.
He got repoed. Okay, but what's funny is that is your license plate still Repo Rita?
Oh, man, we couldn't switch it because of the new car he just bought me.
That's a
But
bummer.
yeah.
We might switch it next year after the registration lapses on the Magnum.
But yeah, my
yeah.
vehicle says Repo Rita on it.
Her license plate, it says Repo Rita. So
Because that's how we met.
that's how, yep. And everybody knows her as Repo Rita, like from that day and age. So.
Yeah.
So I met her, and she had Roman, and he was 3. So I'm like, oh man, I better start straightening up. Like,
Well, I told him he couldn't meet him. I was like, I don't want nobody around my baby.
Yeah.
That's not going to be a good example.
yeah,
And the
or
way
stay
he got
around,
me
yeah.
is that he started taking me and Roman out on dates. And I was
Aw.
like, I told you I didn't like white boys. He
Yeah.
charmed me.
And then, yeah, I got serious, and then I was like, well, I better meet his dad. Went over, shook his hand, talked for a minute. And you know what that was at? And,
Yep.
we've been together for quite some time now, married now, have another little boy. And it was like when he was 1, it was probably 1, my dog, Doobie, passed away. Because I had her, it was like 9.5 or 10 years. And I ain't gonna lie, like, I was shook off that. Like, I went into, like, quite some depression off of that. I was like,
That's a best friend.
I
Yeah,
know, because
good
I had
buddy.
her from, like, even when I was in the house alone with just the mattress on the floor.
Yeah.
Like, that's what we
Before
had.
us.
It was the mattress on the
Yeah.
floor, and then my uncle he gutted the whole house of everything and then he left me a kitchen table and a towel. And so I was like, whatever, like, I don't need nothing.
Yeah.
I'm like, so I got the dog, and she would go everywhere with me, hiking with me, in the car, sitting shotgun, like, everything. My little house hippo just laying with me all the time, and we just did a lot of stuff. So it like, I was depressed for a minute, and Rita didn't want another dog, and it was probably a good thing too, because I would probably just try to, like, replace, like, Doobie type of thing. But that kind of, like, yeah, it kind of shook me for a minute. I had to work through that for a minute. And, like Rita said in some of the mentioning to John in the last episode, that there has been some at each other's necks moments in our marriage.
We had to rebuild our marriage. Like, we had to completely rip, because we met when we were partying. You know what I'm saying?
Can I just say, I
Yeah.
have loved watching you guys. Like, I'm sure it's been hard.
We met
But
when we
I
were
really
partying.
have enjoyed watching
Yeah.
this rebuilding, rebranding moment.
I had to rebuild the foundation of God, right? So
Yeah.
it's been good.
It was pretty crazy. We could have definitely had one of them TV shows, you know, where
Yeah.
you look in the whole like, oh dang, did you see what happened to this week? Like,
Yeah.
you know, like it could have been one of them. But
I love that.
You've done great.
Yeah,
Like,
you
you've
both
We
are
did.
doing really good.
we did work through a lot of that, and like, so what, and then like in my past, I've just kind of been hurt by church, and I think that's true for like a handful of people.
Yeah.
Just kind of have like a bad taste in the mouth by, you know, from something, you know, maybe higher expectations than
Yeah.
should have been in the church or whatever. So I didn't really like want to go to church too much. But then, like Travis Cox said in a different episode, in his episode, he says, when the pain is higher than the fear of change, that's when the change can start.
Amen.
You know, and so I was like, well, you know, a lot of like what I did was like, okay, we're gonna do this now, and I'd say it to Rita, we're gonna go do this, and I'd have to like kind of like, come on, we're doing this type of thing, and it was like
And I wasn't on the same page.
she wasn't, and I
Absolutely
couldn't,
not.
so I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna go, and I started going back to church, and I started bringing Donovan back to church. It started on Wednesday nights, and I was met with open arms. It was pretty awesome.
Good place.
And you know, we did what kind of changed.
Wait, let's pause there for a second though, because I think that's super important. Even in a relationship where you guys have been married for so long or been together for so long, I think it's still in a relationship. It's still about, you still have to change you, and you still have to work on yourself, right? Even though we always want to bring this person that we love with us. Like Rita said, she wasn't on that level and she wasn't on that page yet. She was reading a different book at the time, you
Yeah.
know. But like,
Not the Bible.
but like, but I think that's just so important and such a great reminder that we always have to like,
Yes.
even if you get that nudge to go back to church or to go do something that you want to do, you kind of just have to go on it alone, and then kind of the rest will follow.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah,
That's how it works.
so that's
Yeah.
really cool.
and it was one of the first couple times that I went, because I went it was a few months that I went by myself.
I remember that, and I remember so like it started with you, and then Rita kind of one day was like it clicked for her, and then she did her own thing, and then it's really cool to see how you guys are doing it together now. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
we
you
had to do
wanted
it,
that.
yeah.
But you wanted that in the beginning, but it
Yeah.
wasn't like that. It was you handle you first. She's gonna do her at her time, but now you guys are walking together.
Well,
and I
and-
think that's really cool.
And I love that
And I've seen it.
And I love that you said that, because I think a lot of couples have this problem where, like, they want a change, you know,
Yeah.
because like Zack and I were so like up and down. It really
Yeah.
was like up and down. They want, like, they're growing and they want their partner to grow.
Yeah,
And they, you know, they're doing everything to try to like bring them.
and that's
but
exhausting.
it is exhausting.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he was exhausted, because I was like, no, I'm not ready. I don't want to do it. You know what I'm saying? And,
Yeah.
and I just,
And then nobody
it-
likes to be told what to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And in
I
this,
don't.
I don't. You're absolutely right. And in this process, like, you just got to let them come when they're ready,
Right.
because eventually, if it is meant to be, you guys are going to meet at the same place.
Yeah.
And I think
And
that's
I've
what
seen
happened.
that. And I love that. Like, I'm learning from you guys.
You're so sweet.
That's
yeah.
fun. That's awesome that you said that, because we had to go and do our own
Yeah,
Yeah.
for
type
sure.
of, you know, she had to work herself, I had to work myself, and then
Even in friendships, though, because it's a domino
Yeah.
effect. I'm like, I need to get it together.
Right.
You know what I mean?
what made it really click for me, because when I went in, it was like I was just met with love, and I was like so surprised
Yeah.
at how much love I was shown. I mean, at the time, I was like, oh man, at the time, I was just ridiculous in some senses, right? Like
Yeah.
I had cornrows, and I was like half picking them out at the time when I went in. So I'm like, here, this side's like all twisted up and all
He
crazy.
was extra on
Yeah.
And
purpose.
this side's
Yeah.
like starting to get undone, and I'm sitting
He's
there
like
in the sermon,
really
and I'm
testing
all
the
like,
waters.
Yeah.
How much
You
are
know what
y'all
I
gonna
mean?
really love me?
so.
That's annoying.
But they did though. They did though. I mean, it was like Shailene, it was like Rob, it was like Tia. Like I had brought Donovan with me the first time, and you know, it was like the first, and then it was like maybe the third time I kept trying to get her to come, and then Lorenzo, brother in Christ, Lorenzo, it was a little short sermon that he talked about. It was either on Wednesday night or in his men's group. I can't remember. But leadership, and this is just the gist of it. Leadership, we're as men of the family, we're supposed to have leadership and lead your ship. And then everything, the whole ship's going to follow. So if you want your spouse, if you want your family, it's up to you still to follow Christ and be the one leading your ship of your family, leading your family. And you can't make them, but that's the direction that you're going to go. And then like all that like clicked to me. I stopped asking her. I stopped saying, let's go. I stopped doing all that and just worried about like myself. And it's been great. We've, done a lot of stuff more together, marriage classes and stuff, and working together.
And like now you both want to grow in that direction.
Absolutely.
And I think that's so powerful.
Yeah.
Because a house divided cannot stand.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you guys were definitely
divided,
but now you're standing together because you're not.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
It's been awesome.
Yeah, and like, I don't know.
It's God.
I see
I'll bring
it.
the
I
kids
see
to
it.
Lord.
I tell Rita all the time.
Yeah.
Because I'm very dominant. I don't think he's ever met a woman like me.
No.
I told him, I said, you can't.
I'll
I'm
be banging
different.
my head against the wall sometimes. Like, I can't get through to her. Like, but she knows. She just don't want to admit it.
Thing.
Yeah.
She just don't want to admit it. She knows. She'll come back 2 months later, be like, you know what, you're right.
No.
Say it
calm
again.
down.
Say it again.
Calm down.
Yeah.
That moment when you tell them they're right.
Dude, you should hear him in the house. He's like, what you say, Rita?
Did somebody else hear that?
He's like, let me grab my phone. Say it again.
I'll be right back. I got a journal real
Yeah,
quick.
journal.
I'll write this
It's
thing
been
down.
good. But no, really, it's been good.
Yeah.
It's
You guys
been
are
good.
amazing.
I mean, what are we, 6 years married, 9 years together, but it's truly been a blessing. And I love that you've like accepted the assignment from God and completely changed. I mean, you're a great dad. The boys love you. We do a lot of fun stuff, right? 4-wheeler, dirt bikes, like we do a lot of fun stuff, but you are just like a whole different person. And the boys really look up to you, and you're a great husband. You spoil me, and like you follow my crazy dreams, and you're just in the back following me, when I need you. And
I'm throwing the buoys while you're driving the boat.
vice versa. The ship this way, But no, I think it's awesome. And it's so crazy. I'm from Africa. He's from Miami. We met in Utah. It's insane. I mean, you know the whole story, but yeah, it's awesome. Super proud of you. Good job.
Thanks.
Yeah.
And the kids have started into that too. They like doing all that too now. They help me like with love of my city and everything. And I mean,
You know what?
Kids-
All right.
my parents,
Good.
they raised some pretty smart kids, but we're not like geniuses or anything. I mean, Albert Einstein, he was a genius.
Oh my
His
God.
brother Frank was a monster. Frank Einstein.
No.
Come on.
I knew the joke was going to be awful.
All right.
I'm
Somebody's laughing.
Somebody's
right now.
laughing.
Yeah,
I'm
somebody's
done.
laughing.
Is there any last words? Anything you want to leave the viewers and listeners with? Anything?
Don't stop. Just keep pursuing. Just keep. If you're gonna fall forward. If you feel overwhelmed or in a box, just pray and send God your petitions. Really just fall forward. Don't stop moving forward towards Christ. Trying to be renewed in the mind. I pray a lot. Is David's cry, create in me a clean heart, O God, renew a steadfast spirit within me, and don't take your spirit from me, and I pray that a lot so that, it'd be like in the day I'll be able to maybe minister to somebody or my eyes will be open to where like maybe God wants me to be doing something where I might be like going through the day, but I try to start out my day like that to
Lift up your
keep
head.
that reminder,
I love it.
So don't stop.
Love it.
We're taking baby steps, taking big steps. Eventually we get there. So.
Yeah.
Love it. Do you want to be a part of our closing? I'm just asking.
Sure.
Okay.
You want to be something?
Yes.
You wanna do
Which
it?
one am I gonna be?
Okay, the last one.
Okay.
Okay, remember to be bold.
Be brave.
And be better.
You guys do.